Let's talk about fire safety, guys. Good afternoon, everyone, guys. Welcome back to our fire safety video number 2. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Scba sets. What all topics we are going to cover? Basically, what are Scba sets? What are the uses of Scba sets? And what are the tests that we are going to conduct on Scba sets? The carriage requirements, the solus requirements for the Scba sets, and the procedure for recharging of Scba sets after it is used. And we will also see the air compressor for charging the Scba sets, and we will also discuss about it. So let's begin this video. So the question really starts off with, what is an Scba? An Scba actually stands for a self-contained breathing apparatus. Next question that follows is, why do we need an Scba, or where do we use an Scba? There are two situations in which we use the Scba sets. First one, we use the Scba sets in conjunction with the firefighter's suit in event of any fire, and if we have to fight any fire, so that we use a self-contained breathing apparatus. It can also be used for rescue of personnel from the enclosed spaces if we have any casualty in enclosed spaces. So the people who are going to rescue, they will use the Scba sets, and they will take a EBD along with them for the casualty. What it actually does is it provides the wearer with breathable air in an environment where air is contaminated, or we have oxygen percentage that is less. So in that scenario, we have compressed air bottles connected to equipment, which can be worn with the help of straps, and then it can be used, and there is a delivery of compressed air through pipes, rubber pipes, and through the face mask. Provides a continuous flow of air, compressed air, not oxygen. Compressed air, continuous flow of compressed air into our body so that we don't collapse. Now, talking about the solus regulation for the carriage of Scba sets, every ship should have at least 2 Scba sets on board. It depends on the size. The larger ships are supposed to carry more than 2. They are supposed to carry 4 Scba sets. And for the spares, each ship should have 1 spare bottle for 1 Scba set if they have a recharging unit on board. Like if they have Scba refilling unit, Scba compressor that can recharge the spare bottles, so they can have 1 spare bottles for each Scba set. Suppose we have 4 Scba sets on board on our ship, so we should have like 4 spare bottles and 1 recharging unit. If we don't have a recharging unit on board, then we should have at least 2 spares for each unit. Like if we have 4 Scba sets, so we should have 8 spare bottles in case we don't have a Scba compressor that can recharge the bottles. And also, if you are carrying a dangerous goods, your ship is approved to carry dangerous cargo, some categories of cargo, so you have to carry an additional 2 set of Scba that has to be kept designated for that purpose only. That's not to be used for other operations. Now, apart from just the solus carriage requirements, there are various other solus requirements which are basically upon the operation part of Scba sets, and we are not going to discuss that in detail. If required, we can refer to the solus chapter 2 part 2 that deals about firefighting equipment, fire detection, prevention, and all the regulations and requirements for the firefighting equipments that we should have on board. So we can refer it from there. We will now proceed for the testing and what all tests that we have to carry out on our Scba sets. First one is your physical test, in which you will check the general physical condition of all your components of your Scba sets, your face mask, your demand valves, your pressure gauge, your regulator valves, your Scba cylinder, your straps, your everything like rubber hoses, everything should be in perfectly good condition. There should be no damages, no cracks, nothing, no air leaks. You should see that physically, and then you should, if it is okay, that means it's good to go. And those are the parts of your physical test. And followed up with that, we have a pressure test. In pressure test, what we have to do is we will check the pressure of the bottle. And how we do that is we will turn on the regulator valve from behind our Scba set, and it will start the delivery of air from the Scba cylinder to our face mask. And then in between there is a rubber hose, and in rubber hose there is a pressure gauge that is connected. So it will, before starting of the demand of compressed air from the demand valve on your face mask, we will check that in the pressure gauge it is showing the accurate pressure. It is rated up to 300 bars, and it should not be less than 240 bars. So in the pressure test, we check that there is sufficient pressure inside the Scba bottle before you are going to fight any emergency or before you are going to rescue any personnel from any enclosed space. So we will see that there is enough pressure, and basically pressure means time in this scenario. If more pressure, that means you will get more time to use that Scba bottle. If you have 300 bars pressure, you will get roughly 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Also depends upon the breathing rate of the individual. If somebody is heavily breathing, they will consume more compressed air, and if somebody is more calm, they will use less air. So the consumption of air also depends on that. Once we have checked, if it is less than 240 bars, you can replace the cylinder with another spare cylinder and try to keep it close to 300 bars. It will give you more time to deal with the situation. And then once we have connected a new cylinder bottle, or once if our pressure is already as per the rated pressure and we can use, we are good to go. We will proceed for the next test, that is our whistle test. In every Scba set, there is a safety that is provided, that's called as a whistle test. There is a pressure gauge in which there is a marking, and there are different ranges from green to red. So when there is last 10 minutes time of your Scba sets for delivery of your air remaining, it will touch the red range in your pressure gauge, and it will give you a whistle alarm. So when you hear that whistle, you will have to leave whatever you are doing. If you're fighting fire, you have to stop. If you're in middle of a rescue, you have to stop it. You have to get out of it. You have to change your Scba bottle and come back again and continue it. Or somebody else who is in the backup team, they will come and they will continue whatever you are doing. So that whistle is an indication for you to stop your job and move out of the space, because it will only have 10 minutes of air supply. If you don't, you will also collapse and you will also become the part of the same story. So for this whistle test, when you have already started the regulator valve from your Scba cylinder bottle, and you have pressure showing up in your pressure gauge, what you do is you close the delivery of air from your Scba cylinder, close the valve, and you press the demand button over here in your face mask. It will release all the air, whatever is there in your rubber tubes, and suddenly you will see the pressure is dropping in your pressure gauge. When there is a pressure drop in your pressure gauge, you will notice the moment it touches the red zone, below the red line, below 60 bars, in the danger zone, it will give a whistle. So yeah, that's how we test your whistle test. There is another test called as the leak test, in which what we have to do is once we have the air which has come from the compressed air bottle to the system and the demand valve is closed, then we have to stop the supply of the air from the bottle, and we have to monitor in the pressure gauge that the pressure is constant. Basically, we are checking that there is no leak in the system. So how to check? Once you have already opened the bottle, there will be some supply of air going up to your demand mode. The demand valve has to be shut. There should be no, you should not breathe that air for that time period of test. Then you will close the regulator valve from your Scba cylinder, no more air to be delivered. And then you will monitor that in the pressure gauge, the pressure should not drop. It should remain constant. If it is constant, that means there is no leak. If the pressure is dropping constantly, that means there is some leak in the system somewhere. Can be more, can be less. And if that is the case and you don't check it, when you are actually going to fight for any emergency, then you will notice that instead of lasting for 30 minutes, that cylinder bottle, because of the leak, will last only 10 to 15 minutes. So yeah, that's how we will check the leak test. Last one is your positive pressure test. Basically, from different suppliers, basically there are different types of demand valves that we have in use. Some manufacturers make it, they have three modes. One is when it's not delivering anything, another one is a positive pressure mode, another one is your demand mode. In your positive pressure mode, there will be a constant delivery of air, whether you are breathing or not. In your demand mode, it will be delivering you compressed air only when you breathe. If you're breathing, it will deliver. If you're not breathing, it will not deliver. In some other manufacturers, there are only two modes. It's either off or it's in the demand mode. So in our ship, we have only two modes. One is off and one is the demand mode. How to test the positive pressure is once we have already opened the air from the regulator bottle, and we will press the button to check the intake. We will put the mask on our face, strap it closely, tightly, everything, no leak. And then once we have started the flow of air into our face mask, then we will lift up the straps from the sides and we will see if the air is only coming out. We will see that the air is only coming out. There is no air that is going in. For the positive pressure, it should have positive pressure so that whenever you are fighting fire or whenever you are in a contaminated environment, the outside air or the smoke, whatever is there, should not go into your mask and you should not breathe that. So whatever, if you have a positive pressure inside, it will only put the air out and it will never let any outside air or smoke get into your body or get into your face mask. That's why we do the positive pressure test. So these were the tests, all the tests that we have to do on our Scba sets. So now let's go to our emergency generator room where our Scba compressor is kept, and we will see how to recharge our Scba bottles. Let's proceed. So this is our emergency generator room. Inside our emergency generator room, we have this air compressor which is used to recharge our Scba bottles. This is the manufacturer Bauer compressor, German. This is the model Junior 2. And this is the air compressor which takes in the air from nearby surroundings, and then after that it compresses it, and then with this connection we connect this to the Scba bottle over there, and then we can charge it to 300 bars. There are some compressors on tankers, gas carriers, where we have same compressor but we have two nozzles. So like here also we have two separate outlets here. In that we have two nozzles. One is for charging it to 200 bars. Another one is for charging it to 300 bars. So this one is only for 300 bars. We can use this to charge our Scba bottle, which is required to be charged up to 300 bars. And there are few checks that we have to do on this. First is to check your filter, condition of our air filter. And then there is a date marked on it. It's written in Chinese, so I cannot understand really what it is. There is an annual air quality test in which we have a external company, external party that comes to inspect the quality of the air cylinder. And in that what we do is we recharge one Scba bottle. We recharge one Scba bottle with our compressor, and then we give it to the shore for sampling. That air sample is being tested at shore, and to test what is the condition, what is the quality of the air that we are recharging. So it finds out that our compressor is working fine. The second thing is to check the oil level. We will check the oil level. One moment. We'll check the oil level. It has to be up till this marking. It should be dipped in oil. So we have appropriate oil level inside. In case if it is low, we have to refill this with the oil. So we have over here electric motor and we have a power cable. This is our socket and it requires a 440 volt connection, and this goes into our 440 volt distribution box, and we will connect it to the power supply. So once we have connected the power supply, we will have power in our motor, and then we have our power switch over here. We can use that power switch to start this compressor. How to recharge our Scba bottle? We will take this Scba bottle, and then we have a inlet valve over here. We have a open and close regulator valve over here. Always, if we have a metal cylinder, we will prefer to keep it in a bucket with a cold water, so that when we have an increase of pressure, the temperature will rise, and to reciprocate that rising temperature, we provide outside cooling, so that the temperature does not rise and the pressure also does not get too much increased. And if the temperature is low, the pressure is also in check. So the next thing is that we will connect this to our inlet valve. Now once we have connected the outlet from the air compressor coming to our Scba bottle, we will check all the valves are closed. This is closed, this drain valve of this line is closed, our inlet valve is closed. At first we will start the compressor and we will monitor the pressure over here. Then next step, we will wait for it to charge up to 200 bars. When it is 200 bars or more, like 210, then we will open the valve for this, so that we have positive pressure this side, and then it will only start on the other side. If we open the valve initially, it will give us a back pressure of 200 bar. So when you have back pressure of 200 bar, it will take more time to charge. It will take more time to come up to 200 bar, fighting that back pressure, and that what could recharge with between 20 minutes, it will take more than 30 minutes like that. It will take more time to increase the pressure against that back pressure. So we have started the compressor. It is taking the air from here, compressing, and suddenly we will see the pressure will rise on the gauge. Now we see the pressure is rising very quickly. So it will come up to 200 bars. Once it is 200 bars, we will open the inlet valve for the cylinder. So now the air will start to go inside the cylinder. So now the process is very fast. Within 1 minute, within 2 minutes, we have our pressure that is reaching to 200 bars, and then after 1 minute we have already started to fill in the compressor. Otherwise, if we have opened the valve initially, we have a back pressure of 200 valves, and that in that case, to rise up that pressure up to 200 bars, it will take more time, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but like this it will be recharged very fast. Now as we have seen that the bottle pressure has increased, it is now more than 315 bars. Now we have closed the supply inlet valve for this. We will open the drain valve to drain the compressed air which is inside the line, and we will monitor that the pressure in this gauge will steadily fall. The pressure will steadily fall and then come up to 0. And then we will close the drain valve. We will open another drain to drain out the moisture. And then after that, finally, we will disconnect our Scba bottle with our charging hose. We will secure back our Scba compressor into the original position. We will connect the Scba bottle back to our Scba set, put the Scba set in the box, and then secure it back to our fire station. And then, yeah, we have completed the process of charging of Scba bottle with an Scba compressor. And I think we have completely covered all the topics that we discussed we are going to cover in this video. So yeah, we will conclude this video now, and hope you guys understood whatever topics were there, and hope you guys liked the video. And we will see you in the next video, and I will cover more topics on fire safety in the upcoming videos. See you guys soon. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe my channel. The link is mentioned below.